So as part of the object-oriented programming, there are some basic concepts that you need to understand. Those concepts are more about reusing the code and organizing your code around different classes and structures. Okay. So far what we have seen is we create the one page object, one object, um, and then we have all the things, right? All the different steps. So think through what's common between loan calculator versus dealer search versus the user role login classes that you guys created.
Login. Login objects are same.
So login functionality,
Yeah,
you are
UI.
rewriting the code over and over again, right? So that's where this type of class structure I'll talk about is more helpful, so that you can organize your code. You write it only once, okay? So login functionality, you don't have to repeat that in all the classes. You can organize it in a single class, and then you leverage object-oriented programming features to basically include in whatever else class that you need. Okay. So what I mean by that is we have login object, we have loan calculator, we have user role, and whatever dealer search. Okay. And then what we'll do is using the object-oriented programming, we know our login is common, so we'll separate out only login method only in this one, and then we'll leverage other classes basically. This login method will utilize inheritance, which I'll talk about shortly. Okay, and add those methods available also here using the object-oriented programming. Um, so let's take a look at it, what it is, and then we'll apply that on this concept here. Okay. Come on. All right. Okay, so take a look at this slide here. Um, so here I have basically mom and dad with a parent class. That's my main object. But I also have the child objects as well, right? So there is a concept called inheritance in the OOP, object-oriented programming. And the parent class, let's say parent has a mom and dad method or properties, you can have that available in the child classes by inheriting uh, the parent class to the child class. Okay. So let's see how does it work? So you define your child class like this, child one, that includes name and age. Okay. And then you specify the symbol less than and say parent. So parent meaning whatever the class that you want to inherit from. Okay. So as soon as you do that, both of these methods will be available in the child class, whatever you inherit to. So in our example, right, that I talked about specifically for our purpose, so we have a login class here, which is kind of like a parent, and then I can inherit to whatever classes I need. This could be dealer search, and this is a loan calculator. Think of that, right? So all these methods, the login method is available in all these subclasses. Okay. So it's a parent-child relationship. That's what the inheritance is about. And this is most common interview question as well when they talk about what do you know about. So you have to start explaining some of the inheritance feature in this case and how did you apply that. Okay. So this when you define the child classes, this is the way you can inherit less than and whatever the parent you want to inherit from. So in this example, I have my parent class. It has two methods, say hello and say goodbye. And this is my child class that inherits from the parent class. It also has say hello method over there, which you can have the same name method, right? And then you have say goodbye. But I'm here in the say goodbye method. I'm calling the super. So my parent class method plus I'm adding something else here. Okay. So you can do several different ways. And if I don't have any method here, let's say I don't have these both methods, I can still call my child class dot new and then a water object dot say hello, say goodbye. Okay. So I can still do that. But here I'm adding my own method. So it takes precedence, the child class method. But if you call super, that means super will refer to the parent over there. Plus you are adding some more text to the output of this class here. Uh, this is very useful. I mean, when you because think through it, you are not rewriting any of these methods. You are making it available and custom adding what you need here in the child classes. That's the power of inheritance here.
So this applies just for the same project, maybe under the same project, or
Yeah, you have to start organizing your because if you keep duplicating the code, it's not maintainable. If something changes in the login, that means you have to go change in 5 different places.
Oh, okay.
So that's where this type of class structure will help. And this is the kind of like you create the classes like different ways and call them and see what output you get. When you get to work through it, will let you guys work through this example, okay, exercise here. But let's move on to the. Is everybody clear on the inheritance, right? Um, there is another thing. So the methods that we defined in the object-oriented programming, the all those methods like here in this example, they say hello and say goodbye. So these are public methods. Public means I can call these methods as soon as I create the object and I can start calling these methods. But what if you don't want some of the methods to be exposed to the outside the class? So I could have something else, but I don't want anybody else to call it after you create the object or instance from it, right? So that's where you have two more additional choices available, which are like a private methods and protected methods. Okay. So by default, they all will be public. Okay. Um, but as soon as like public method we are calling normal way, it will be available as soon as you put a dot there, whatever the instance dot, they will show up there. Okay. Um, but then you also have a private methods, and you can define something like that. Okay, private with a private keyword over there, and all the method right below that will be private. So that means I create an object, and when I say object dot, this method will not show up. Okay, but this will because it's not a private method; it's a public method by default. Okay. Now, why would you want to do that? Because if you want to do certain internal stuff, not all the methods you want to expose from the class. You probably want to expose the imported one, like a go to, and then you might call some other method to do some additional work.
So we are just trying to add more, maybe functionality. You can say what.
It's
like
organizing
features
your code, organizing your
Yeah,
code.
just
Yeah. Just organizing your code and
Maybe we don't
limiting
have
the
to-
number of methods that you can expose. So that's the kind of like
and
a
we don't have to keep rewriting.
yeah, rewriting means like a recoding, I guess. Yeah, rewriting everywhere, organized in a single place. That's what it is. So private methods are available as well, right? And if you try to call this private method using the dot, it will throw an error. Say, hey, method does not exist in the object instance.
So who can use this private?
So within the class, you can call these methods. Within the class, let's say this method can call this method as well. Okay. So this method, I can say private access, then do something, get the output, and then do something else. So my methods are typically 50 lines of code. That's how you typically have in the real life.
So the private is similar to what we have used already in the same.
It's the same way you can write it, right? They have whatever. It's just that it's not exposed outside the class. That's the only difference.
And public is for everyone.
Public, as soon as you create object or instance, it will be available for anybody else to call. But private is accessible only within the class. Within the class. So it's kind of like a scope, like a variables, right? You have dollar sign will be global type of thing, or instance variable or something like that. These are the methods. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So here, if I try to call this first private example, it will throw me basically the error over there, right? Because it's a private method. You cannot call it outside the class. Okay. And this is how you can call inside the class, basically. So you have this method, right? This is public, but then you are calling this method within the class method. But you cannot call it outside. That's what it says. All right, so there is another kind of method, another type. So public, private, and protected. Okay. Um, so protected method, again, it works similar to that, like protected, and you can basically call the similar way protected methods as well. Again, they are not available outside the class. That's the first thing. Then what's the difference between private and protected, right? Private methods are not available in the inherited classes. So child objects, you cannot use the private methods. They are available strictly in the classes that you have defined. But protected methods will be available in the inherited classes. Okay. So that's the main difference there. Let me see if I have a better example here. So protected method, this one has like a protected combination of those things, public, protected, and private, three different keywords. Child class, I inherit from this public class, right? From here, I can call this protected method, basically. That's what it says in the child class. And the other one will produce an error over
So
there.
I can have both public as well as protected.
Protected method, that's correct. Yeah, yeah. But again, as soon as child you can have it, but it cannot be accessible outside. It's within the class only.
So I didn't get this one. Protected and private will be within the class.
Within the class, that's
Okay,
correct.
and,
Yeah.
and between
Public
them-
is public. Public is the only one they can call it.
Okay. And between protected and private, what is the second difference?
The second difference is you cannot private methods are not available in the child classes. It's only in the whatever classes that is defined. That's what it is. But the protected methods will be available in the child classes again, but you cannot call it from outside. But it will be available within the child classes. Don't worry about too much on this. It just understand concepts. They are more like interview questions. Probably you're not gonna use it as an automation developer. Some of these things, but private ones you will definitely use it. Protected you may. I don't think I have used that often. Okay, but it's available protected one. All right, so since we know some concepts now, let me see how we can restructure our code. Okay, that's the first thing. So I'll go back to our Ruby project here. All right, as I was saying, right, we have this login. We are doing that login everywhere here. This particular method. Then we have, I think, login calculator has a similar one or same one. Now this method includes basically go to here, right? So I can start separating out some of the code. But let's assume I don't have login object or login basically. Or let's clean up our login class first. So this is called code refactoring. Okay, you're gonna hear the term refactoring. Okay, so you write your code and then you go back and refactor where you wanna or how you wanna organize your code and stuff. Okay, so what we'll do is I have this methods and I think this all looks good. Okay, so I want to use this login instead of having my loan calculator create all these login methods here. Okay, so all I have to do is I need to get rid of a couple of things. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna get rid of this because this is already part of the login object. Remember, let's go back here. Right, I have this one. I have three methods here. This is all part of the login object. Right. I want to reuse this code. I don't want to write this everywhere, basically. So I'll go back to the loan calculator and I'll get rid of it from here. It's all code is gone, login related and navigation related. Now, only thing I have left is what is relevant for the loan calculator stuff, right? Page. I have access calculator, enter loan amount, calculate and verify. That's it. I don't worry about anything else. Now, what is our inheritance method says? We have to go and specify the login class here. So I'm inheriting from the login class at this point. Okay. Now, sometime you might have to specify the require relative. Here, it will work regardless because they all are in the same file folder. So they will automatically find each other. Okay. Now, if I had another directory, then I might have to specify relative path. But for now, I don't have to. Okay. And let's go and let me go and see what else I need to refactor. You guys understand this part? Yeah. So all these login methods are part of my other class as well now. Okay. So I have this initialize, visit, login, those methods. Okay. So let me go and add another sample Ruby file here somewhere. Actually, let's go back here. Now what else I need to do? So if I run it, right, login feature at this time, it will open a browser, but it will throw some errors here. Okay. It says in uninitialized constant, basically. Let's go back here. Top required. Let me go ahead and do the required relative. Okay, so I have that guy and this one. Let's see if I have anything different. Yeah, so that is still required even though it's within the class file. But I'm gonna get some other errors because I have a couple of methods probably that's not gonna work. But I should be able to log in here. Oh, actually, hang on. So this one was a login, right? But we were talking about the loan calculator, right? So we need to run the loan calculator feature here, right? This is login feature works fine because I didn't change anything over there. Okay. So let's go to the loan calculator. This is where I am expecting to fail. It will still open the browser. Okay, that's a good thing. It will probably do or maybe fail on the login because it will not have anything, right? So it says ambiguous measure. I am logged in as a dealer here, blah blah blah. Okay, so loan calculator.new. I'm calling the login here. Okay, so if I go to the login method here, it tries to log in without actually going to the page. So I'm missing one call because I'm refactoring my code. Right? The other method in the loan calculator already included this statement in which I got rid of it. So I need to go and back and call this method visit homepage. So I'll go back to the loan calculator steps and let's say loan object dot visit homepage. Okay. So now it will actually go to the site and then try to log in afterwards. Hey, good morning. All right, so let me go and run it. Hopefully, I have a better results at this point. Okay, so it's still complaining about the ambiguous matchup. I logged in as dealer. I logged in as dealer. I logged in as dealer. Let's see where it's ambiguous. ambiguous mismatch, match of I am logged in as dealer.
Because they both have different user IDs.
Let's just take a look at it closely now. Okay, so I have these tabs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go to the step definition, right? So I have calculator, right? So this I'm including this class. Then I am creating a new object, LoanCalculator.new, and then I'm trying to go to the page, and then I'm trying to log in here, and then other methods should be fine. So it's complaining here. I am logged in as dealer. Okay, that's the step. Now let's see what else we have. Oh, it's matching with the two steps. That's what it is. So I have I'm logged in as dealer, and I'm logged in as super user dealer, or one of the method is matching over there. So I need to go back and see where can I tweak it. Okay. Logged in as dealer. Okay, here. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just change it for now as a dealer user. Okay, so that way it won't match with anything else. Dealer user, I'll change my step here, dealer user, because I don't have any parameters, so I'm fine. All right, let's go and run it. Okay. All right, so at least it went through and moved to a couple of more steps down there, right? So let's see where it went in. Undefined method link. So let's go back here. Okay, access calculator does not exist. Okay, so hang on, why it's not inheriting from here? Let me just take a look at what am I missing here.
For login, we have to create a new file, right?
What is it?
For login, this one,
Yeah.
this is a class, so
Yep.
you deleted it from this, right? So you have to.
So this is my class, right? Login class here.
Yeah.
So I have initialized, browser. So I'm using different instance variable name, right? Here I'm using browser, another one I'm using B. So it's saying I cannot use. Make sure you have the same. So let me go back and fix it in the here. Okay. So I'm gonna use browser. It makes more sense to me. So in the login calculator, I'll fix it to B. Okay. All right. All right, so that's what it's complaining about, because it couldn't find the same instance variable when you inherited, so it had a different name in there. So let's go back and run it.
So we have to create a new file for the login.
Hang on. I'll actually, we will go back and work one more time. Okay, so it's getting there, right? So let's see if it goes there, ran all this thing. Now it passed. Okay, so only thing. So let's see what we did here. Okay, so that you guys understand. So we started out with the loan calculator. We got rid of the login methods because we don't want to reuse. We want to reuse the code from the login, right? So this is our login class. It has initialized. That's where new browser instance is created. We have visit homepage and login. These three methods we are reusing from there. So the way you can inherit is you go back to the loan calculator, right? And this is the way you can inherit, less than and login. So it will pull all the methods, public methods are protected, and so that you can reuse here. It will become part of that. Okay. So only thing my loan calculator includes is def x whatever is relevant additional methods that you need for the page. That's it. But the login is gone. Code. Okay. So you can now then I went back here loan calculation, right? And here, same way, I didn't change anything here. The only one part I had refactored was going to the home page because I didn't have that method in the loan calculator. So I'm going to the home page, then I'm actually doing the login using GTraining, and then everything else remains same in my class. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, you guys got it? All right, well, let's work through it. I want you guys to refactor in. You have the same, I think, same two things. At least you have at least two projects, right? User role login and whatever other project that you have. So you reuse the login piece. I want to make sure you guys can do it. Okay. Now, how do you reuse it? Follow the syntax. I'll leave the syntax here. Okay, which is nothing but this one. So whatever class you reuse, whether it's a dealer search or other one, make sure you have only relevant methods in there. Okay. Let's work through it.
If you don't want to change the one what we have done and we want to keep the one what we have done already,
Yeah.
then so we have to do everything.
But that's okay. I mean, because once you do this, then you will not do other
Go
one.
back.
So I mean, why would you do that? This is a much better way. You write a code only once and don't worry about those things. So go and do that. Remember, we did not change anything in the login class, right? You may or may not have to change anything in the login class same way. I mean, you already have those methods. So make sure your instance names are same everywhere, right? Browser or FB, whatever you are using. Okay. All right, let's see how it goes.